Welcome back. Today we are jumping straight into a critical, honestly mind-blowing 4-year period of state building that completely altered the course of history on the Indian subcontinent. We're unpacking the rise of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj from 1670 to 1674. Our sources drop us right into the action at his epic return from Agra in 1670. The stakes? Absolutely astronomical. But instead of facing defeat, we're going to see the launch of an intense, highly calculated era of consolidation and expansion. Let's get right into this explainer.
Okay, let's take a quick look at the timeline to map out just how rapid this progression really was. We've got 1670 kicking off with rebuilding and the Sinhagad campaign, followed right away by the Surat campaign. Then, a quick pivot to a heavy administrative focus from 1671 to 1673, all culminating in the Grand Coronation in 1674. That is an insane amount of ground to cover in just 4 short years.
So by 1670, Shivaji Maharaj had successfully rebuilt the core strength of Swarajya. His return from Agra really could have signaled a moment of extreme weakness or vulnerability for his forces, but instead, the sources show it became this massive psychological resurgence. His sheer resolve deeply inspired the Maratha people, and the movement for self-rule didn't just survive, it caught fire, fueled by a totally unified vision.
And this renewed momentum leads us straight to the famous Battle of Sinhagad in 1670. Now, this fort was firmly under Mughal control, and getting it back was absolutely essential. Shivaji Maharaj calls upon his trusted commander Tanaji Malusare, who leads this incredibly daring, almost impossible mission straight up the steep, unforgiving terrain to capture a fiercely guarded fortress. The historical accounts of this highlight the sheer courage required, and it resulted in a huge, historic victory for the Marathas.
But man, that victory came at an incredibly high cost. Tradition attributes a really powerful quote to a deeply grieving Shivaji Maharaj when he found out that Tanaji had actually died in the battle. He said, "The fort is won, but the lion is lost." Tanaji was that lion. This single sentence perfectly captures the immense emotional weight of this entire state-building period, and it cemented Tanaji in history as the ultimate symbol of loyalty and ultimate sacrifice.
Right. So, how exactly do you capitalize on a massive victory like Sinhagad? Well, the post-Sinhagad actions reveal this brilliantly calculated two-pronged strategy. Step 1. Continue reclaiming lost strategic military forts, cementing the Maratha position all across western India. But here's the catch. Holding those forts requires serious cash, which brings us to Step 2. Securing the financial resources needed to actually fund this massive military expansion.
To secure those absolutely crucial funds, a second campaign was launched against Surat in 1670. Surat was a remarkably wealthy trading hub. I mean, we're talking about a major center of commerce here. By targeting this specific city, the campaign generated the massive financial resources they desperately needed to keep the movement alive. And those funds were injected directly into strengthening both the military and the rapidly growing administration.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the evolution we see right after. Over the next few years, between 1671 and 1673, the focus strategically shifted inward. They didn't just keep fighting. Military victories were paired with very specific internal improvements. We're talking improving governance, fortifying defenses, expanding the army, and creating a highly efficient administrative system. It's a methodical transformation, turning Swarajya from a grassroots rebellion into a highly stable, organized state.
And at the very core of this entire transformation was the concept of Swarajya, Shivaji's long-held vision of an independent, self-ruled state. This wasn't just about conquering territory for the sake of it. Every single fort reclaimed, every resource secured, and every administrative reform was implemented for one single reason: to serve this highly organized, overarching vision of self-rule.
And all of that relentless work, the sacrifice, the meticulous strategic planning, it all culminated on one single day. By 1674, Shivaji Maharaj had firmly established himself as the undisputed leader of a powerful kingdom. To formally recognize this sovereignty, preparations began for a truly majestic event. On June 6, 1674, at the awe-inspiring Raigad Fort, a grand coronation ceremony took place. The scene was spectacular, performed with elaborate traditional Hindu rituals. Distinguished guests literally traveled from different regions just to witness this historic moment. This coronation marked the official establishment of the Maratha Kingdom, basically the ultimate fulfillment of that long-held vision of Swarajya.
And this brilliantly illustrates the monumental shift in power that happened that day at Raigad Fort.
During the ceremony, Shivaji Maharaj was officially crowned Chhatrapati. That title marks the sovereign ruler of the Maratha Kingdom. Crowning him Chhatrapati meant undisputed formal recognition of his absolute sovereignty. He was no longer just a regional leader fighting a rebellion. He was a king on the world stage, ruling a totally independent state.
If you just step back and look at the historical journey here, from a child born at Raigad Fort all the way to becoming the crowned, sovereign ruler of an independent kingdom, it is staggering. Our sources note that this complete transformation was built on immense courage, a crystal-clear vision, and the unwavering loyalty of the people. It's a legacy that honestly continues to inspire generations today.
But, as our source material quickly points out, the coronation was just a milestone. It was definitely not the finish line. Which leaves us with a pretty compelling final question. With the kingdom officially established, how exactly do you build a lasting empire? Well, in the years that followed, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj would go on to build a powerful navy, expand deep into southern India, and lay the absolute foundation for an enduring empire. But that incredible expansion is a whole other topic for our next explainer. Keep learning, stay curious, and we'll see you next time.